As someone who enjoys the study and practice of light and lighting, perception of color intrigues me, and I would like to pose you the question: can you comprehend a new color?
Like, for example...
Liam, you've asked me this before, and I hate it. I hate it.
Like, in the sense that I know, for example, there is a story about like how language influences how you perceive color. Like how allegedly in ancient times, like people couldn't see blue because there was no word for blue, and blue was so rare in nature. So for example, like in Greek like mythology, the sky, or like in the Odyssey, the sky is actually described as gray or green. Or like how in like certain tribes in the forest, like they have like so many different words for different shades of green, so they can distinguish very similar shades of green that would look basically similar, like the same to you. They can easily tell apart. Or like different shades of blue for like people who live like in Arctic areas.
That's fascinating, because I thought that in science you saw blue and then the lights fractured everything. Is that not how it worked?
It is, but also like how you perceive things apparently is also like how you are interacting with it. So language really has an impact also, like on smells also, and so on and so forth. And sound, for example, another example is language. For example, in Japanese, like Japanese people have a hard time differentiating between the R and the L sound in English, right? So to them, that's kind of where the meme comes from. But because they don't have that separation in Japanese, it's like they have to actively learn to start listening and hearing the difference. So a person who doesn't speak Japanese in Japan will not hear the difference between light and right. It's just the same.
But in Japan, you've also got better examples than that, because there were certain colors that they did not have until they opened up to the rest of the world. Like I believe orange was not like a native color that they used to see, which is why it's orange now.
Exactly.
It just used to be described as red.
Yeah. So that's actually, so language and like how you interact with the world around you really has like an impact on how you see things. So that's why I'm curious, Liam, like what do you mean with like new colors? It's something in that regard.
I just want you to close your eyes, right? And picture a new color and describe it to me.
Black.
We have that one.
It's also a tone.
It is. It's not a color, Manu.
Different shade of black.
What's different about it?
It's 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, that's gray.
Which is a shade, not a color.
You're not doing very well at this.
All right, Liam, can you tell me a color that you've imagined? Seeing as you're so, I think you must be an
about
expert.
All right. So stay with me here. Picture this, right?
Okay. Am I closing my eyes right now?
Yeah.
I am.
You should always have your eyes closed, Manu. I think it'll help.
Cool.
Blue.
For the rest of the podcast. Yes.
But like super blue.
Okay.
Oh, Sophie's face is great. It's just blue, but better. That's all I've got.
I can't. Okay. And for you, that's a different color when you imagine that?
Yeah, it's super blue.
I don't know, like, should we have taken any substances before the start of this podcast that I was not informed about? Like, I took 3 of the pills and now I see super blue. And the blue
My brain
tastes like
did so many
chocolate.
different loops.
I think it's an interesting question to pose to people. I enjoy seeing how they respond, and I have asked this question to Sophie before, and I believe she just had a complete mental breakdown.
I did end up coming up with a response though, and I stand by it. I stand by it. I stand by it.
Yeah, would you like to share what that response was?
Yes.
is it
All
no?
right, everyone, close your eyes.
Yep.
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Doing it.
Bleak yellow.
And I believe my response was, of all of the colors you can conjure, you've chosen something so depressing and bleh.
But it makes sense.
Does
Bleak
it?
Yellow. It makes sense, doesn't it?
But like
Yellow
neither
is
the
such
very
a bright and happy
Like a
color.
yellow devoid of all life and
Yellow,
joy.
exactly.
And like a beige banana.
how is that like neither yours, Liam, nor Sophie's is like new to me. Like I can imagine them, but they don't feel new.
I honestly, it's better than black, which was your response.
But that was a joke because I had to close my eyes.
Or gray. Okay, come on, give us your color then.
All right.
I don't think I
Redeem
can
yourself.
come up with like a new color. Honestly.
So you're just like all of those YouTube commenters critiquing away without knowing what it is to make a video.
I don't understand how that's related, but sure.
Deeply affected Liam.
You're criticizing the people doing when you haven't done the trying.
Right, I'll try.
I think
Thank
you
you.
should
A
try.
new color.
Brand new.
Okay. Brand new as in like I haven't seen it before, or brand new as in like it's not on the...
Red. I've never seen red. I'm red-green colorblind. No, that doesn't count.
Okay. Well, I guess imagine a purple black that's glowing blue.
I'm picturing the Cadbury purple.
Can you imagine that? A blue glowing purple that's actually black.
So in my mind, I've got a block of Cadbury chocolate in Photoshop, and I've just put a blue outer glow on it.
But is that new color? I don't know. It's a nice color.
No, it's not, Manu.
Okay. How's yours new?
If I can imagine, how do you make super blue? Tell me how you do that in Photoshop, Manu.
I put the saturation to 100.
No, that's just perfect blue. It's not super.
I have to admit something, guys. My earphones just blacked out for the last, I don't know, minute or so, and I have no idea what you guys were saying.
Oh, you did not miss a lot.
Manu,
That's
I'm
right.
going to pretend that you really came up with a super cool, like enlightening, world-changing new color. Just go with it.
Well, okay, so clearly I fail at imagining new colors. Let me ask you this then: how do you know, like, that what you think is blue is not green for me, but we both call it blue?
Oh, I love this question. We don't. I have no idea. What is blue to me could be what you label as red. We could all have entirely different blues.
And it could apply to so many things, like food as well. How do you know that when I say it tastes good, someone else is tasting something and thinking like that it maybe tastes, like if I say it's salty, you might think it's spicy.
True, yeah, but our perceptions of those could be different. For example, I despise sour food, but maybe my sour is like your salt.
Yeah. I do think good and bad are a bit different, because good and bad kind of imply whether I like something or whether like I'm pleased with something, which is, I guess, more easily understandable. But like, you're right, like, yeah. Really? I feel like, for example, if something tastes
good and bad
or bad, it's subjective, but I think it's less you can more form a general image, I think, of like, I can see like what is sour for me might be salty for you, but clearly we have a similar understanding of good or bad tasting. Like, the chances that when you say this tastes like shit, you actually think it's the best thing ever, but you still make a stupid face about it, is very low, I think.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Manu, but I don't think it's because I agree with Manu that it would be easier to have a similar understanding of good and bad, but that it is because good and bad is subjective.
Because it's a value judgment.
But the bad thing to me is that it's too sour, and the bad thing to you is that it's too salty.
Yes, but bad stays bad. Bad means you don't like it, which is like a value judgment and not like a perception.
I think food might be the worst possible area to be doing this in.
I think you just got lost at the wrong intersection. Like, we're not talking about the taste. We're just talking, like, because Sophie started by saying,
yes, but if a food is good, then it depends on the taste.
Yeah, but the attribute good that I attribute to it, you would understand that if I label something good, even if you don't know what it actually tastes like to me, by giving it the attribute good, you know that to me, whatever it tastes like, I have a positive experience about it.
I do, but I could have the same food and say it tastes good or bad or the opposite of whatever you said.
Yes, but then I would, like, you could tell me what it tastes to you, and I would understand what that means. If you said, you know what I mean? But it would be very unlikely that, well, when I say it tastes bad, my bad is your good. I think that's not very likely.
I don't know. When it comes to food, my bad is a lot of people's good.
That's what I was going to say. If Liam and I were sitting next to each other, I think we would have very different opinions.
Oh, yes.
Or even if you and Liam were sitting next to each other.
If another human being was sitting next to me, chances are my bad is their good.
I personally just think that, like, subjective perceptions are basically impossible to know what your, like, version of yellow is. There's no way we can measure that, but I can measure what your good is. You can say, when I eat tomatoes, I feel the same way I do right now, but when I eat chocolate, I feel better or happier. It makes me feel good. So that good is like, I can put that in relation. You can communicate to me that it's a different state from your neutral state, and like something bad is a different state from your neutral state.
I mean, you could communicate that in terms of colors as well. Like, this one is bright. It's vibrant. You can comment on, like, saturation and contrast against other colors.
But I think brightness and vibrance are a lot more objectively verifiable than hue, in relativity, of course.
I agree with you.
Yes.
Which is why I said it.
I think we're actually talking about, I think we're actually agreeing, and I think we're just confused. I think we are actually agreeing on all of this.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I think the agreement is that it would make more sense to say that something that is spicy for me might actually be your understanding of sweet.
That'd be trippy.